Nothing's easy. I really like that team. Uh, we said it on film. Um, we actually did a pretty good job on a couple guys. Miller won, the big kid inside, got some foul trouble, did a decent job on him. I thought Jeremy did a hell of a job on Walker. I really like Walker too, but Miller is a good player, boy. I mean, we did not do a good job on Carroll. He was really good, and I think he is really good. I think that team has a chance to win a lot of games. It was probably a good test for us. It wasn't good when you going home for Christmas because there was a couple sleepless nights on these guys. I told some of you I thought they were good, and yet we start out the second half 4 of 17, missed a gazillion layups, putbacks for Shaman and Jax of all people, and they really 4 of 17. I don't know how we. I'm trying to figure out how we scored 86 points. But again, we shot pretty well from the free throw line. We offensive rebound. We didn't turn it over too much. I mean, it was a good win for us. I didn't like the way it was played at all the time. I thought we got stagnant with the ball. But I was really impressed with Jeremy, and Coen will probably never shoot another three, so he can lead the history of Michigan State. He'll be 100%. But, we talk about what you do in coaching, and a couple weeks ago we were working on his free throws, and he's 6 or 8 for 8 right now from the line, and he's really worked hard on his shot, and it looks so good, and I appreciate our fans appreciating him. And you saw our players, last time I saw an eruption like that is when Steven hit a shot, that was pretty cool. I think that tells you a lot about how they feel about each other, and that was really important to me, and I think to our coaching staff. So Coen, no doubt, was the star of the game. Jaden came around the second half and did some good things, but we weren't as sharp, guys, and we'll have to get better if we're going to compete in our league for what we want to compete for. So questions?
Wondering a little bit about, in particular, the couple dunks that Coen had in that first half when everything was really close. Like, what is maybe the intangible electricity element that he brings to this team, and maybe everybody, whether it be from a fan base and teammate standpoint, or even on the other way to deflate the opponents?
Well, I'd say in my own way, you saw it. You lived it today. I mean, you saw our bench, you saw our fans, you saw their coach, you saw the players that were on the floor. I mean, it's like getting a big hit in football or getting an interception. I mean, there's things that are worth 2 points, and then there's things that are worth way more than 2 points. Those dunks at the time were worth way more than 2 points. And then the block was, that was pretty impressive too, and to keep it in. And I'm just so happy for him because, there's another guy that we talk about process all the time. And, I don't know what he played last year, but it wasn't that much. And it's just sad how everybody thinks that everybody should just be. It takes time sometimes, and his confidence, he's learned how to play harder, his body's in great shape, runs like a deer, his shot is improving every day, he's gotten better with the basketball, he's gotten better defensively. Believe it or not, his strongest attribute, of course, is his jumping ability, and I don't know what he ended up with today, but 8 rebounds is good because he hasn't been rebounding as good as I think his jumping ability, and so we've been on him about that. But the beauty of him, he's agreeing before you get it out of your mouth, and that's a pleasure this day and age. So I think, to answer your question, I think way more than the 2 points. I think it does everything to the opponent, to your fan base, to your players on the bench, to your players on the court, and even to your coaching staff.
Tom, over here, I was wondering, 10-2, 5 straight wins, where you're at going into the break, just where you think your team's at overall right now, versus where you thought you'd be at this point in the season?
If you remember the first big press conference in here, I said, you're probably not going to know where you're at all after Christmas. You know, and I still feel that way because I don't know what comparative scores does anymore. I'm still too confused on what's going on out there as far as who's good and who's not good. And comparative scores have been very difficult, and the scores have been so up and down. You know, I keep saying to my team, I keep saying to you guys, I keep saying to my staff, we just got to stay consistent, you know, and we've stayed pretty consistent. And our bench scoring again, 43 points off the bench. I mean, we're getting over half our points off our bench because it's not really a bench, it's just another bunch of starters. But I'm liking that where the team is heading. I think we got to really clean up some things. You know, we have not been as good defensively since our offense has gotten better. Make more shots, check less. You know, and I don't know. I got to bring Mateen back here. Somebody's got to get after him about that. You know, we still got to be able to guard. And I'm surprised too. Like we got beat some with our guards, and that we rotated more guards in there, and so. A couple ball screen coverages, our bigs weren't as good as they've been. Coop struggled. He's been my most solid guy, not the best, but the solid. And we just got to get better. Maybe everybody needs a break, though. It's been a grind, you know. It has been a grind, and I'm just happy we didn't go home before the game. My pregame meal today, that's what I said. The most important part of the day will not be tip-off. It'll be between 10 and 2, because when 10 and 2 is you determine whether you want to be here, whether you want to be home. One good thing about experience as a coach, you know, there's bad things, but the good thing is you've seen things happen. You've been there. You've done that, you know. I talked to poor Dwayne Stevens last night. You know, they had a big lead, and all he talked about was, you know, I told our guys that you just kind of, some of you want to be home already. Some of you are already in the airplane. I don't blame you. I like to go home too, but we got a job to finish, and then we go home. And I thought we were so-so on that, you know, but the focus of the week was pretty good, and I think we will get better. So where are we? We're 10 and 2. Good enough to beat a lot of teams, not great enough to not lose to a lot of teams. I think we got to shore up our defense a little bit. The other area I was disappointed in, we did a little better job of, was the turnovers. We are shooting the ball a little better. I'm not as concerned with that. We got to defend and rebound, and if we do that, we'll get our running game going. We'll be a better team.
Tom, with Jeremy, it seems to me that, like, he's been solid to good. This seemed like another step in certain ways, and I'm just wondering how you evaluate his performance today.
God, that's, you know, I pulled him out one time, and towards the end of the game, in fact, I had him come back up and stand by me, and I told him exactly what you said. I thought he took a major step today, because in those huddles, not how he played, in those huddles, he was demonstrative. He was begging. He was prodding. He was after guys to play harder and check better. And yeah, I thought if I looked at overall how he played, the assist 8-1, all those things, he was really good. If I took everything overall, that was his best game as a Spartan, because he was really good in the huddles. He was really showed some leadership, and I'm telling you, he's going to get better. I mean, I keep saying the leg's really good, but he's still not. I still think he has a ceiling to get to yet. So we got some work to do.
Hey, Tom, here in front. Sorry, in back.
Front of the back.
My front, your back. So after Coen hit got the dunk, and then he hit the three, you know, he celebrated with his teammates, and then he came over to you. He seemed to have a moment with you. Would you share what you said then, or what that was about?
I just said I was proud of him, happy for him, because I knew the work he put in, and makes those free throws, and he looks over at me. I mean, those are the things that make this crazy profession of mine worth it. Those are the moments. Those are moments that are priceless. And, you know, I think I told you a lot that first day this year. I said it's getting harder for players to trust people, because coaches screw over players too. We do. I don't think I do, but we do in this profession. And I think he now trusts. If I told him to jump off this building, I think he'd jump. And I think that's a good thing. And I just told him I appreciated that and hanging in there. And says they're going to be all worth it. The best is yet to come. You just keep getting better now. I don't know if he'll have games like that because he did some incredible things, but he's playing better every game. And you just got to be thrilled for a guy who works and earns it and changes it. And people laughed at him how he shot free throws and laughed at him how he did this and that. And I understood it. I mean, they laughed, I yelled. It was a hell of a match. But they laughed, I yelled, and he worked. He's going to have the last laugh, maybe.
Tom, over here to your right. One quick thing, is there any update on Jaden Akins? It looked like he was hurt at the last
You know
2
what? I
minutes.
thought he got his shoulder, so I was worried about that. But he got poked in the eye too, so that was the reason. And it doesn't seem to be anything. He wasn't, he was good. Eye a little red, but nothing that's going to be. At least in college, I think he'll still play in the next month.
And second up here, we were having this debate, a few of us, about Coen Carr's jumping and athletic ability and the way he can just leap. And I'm curious, in your career, have you had a player that could even be comparable to the way he leaps like that?
Yeah, I had one comparable, and his son plays for me. JR was comparable. The difference with JR at that age is he was about 175, 180 pounds. Cohen's 215, 220. So, but JR had these long arms, and he was pretty good too. So I've been blessed, Shannon Brown. I mean, I've had a few guys, but Coen is getting so much better with the basketball too. He's in his second year, and he's just improving. And so he's got such great body. As he learns to rebound even better on the offensive end, I think his game is going to get better and better and better.
I'm sure he's watching a lot of these games with Jace playing, but has he mentioned anything to you about Coen at all? Have you guys talked about it?
Oh yeah, he comes up here. I think when Jason comes up here, his son took off today too and tried to dunk over a 6'11" guy too, and Jace is a different player than Jason, but Jace got some hops too. But Coen and JR are, I'm sure, knowing JR, he's his biggest fan, because he knows. And, the funny part is JR wasn't a very good shooter, and he made himself one of the better shooters in the NBA. I don't know yet if JR worked unbelievably hard between his freshman and sophomore year and got better, not great. Then when he left, he got better and better and better because that's all he's doing is playing basketball. If Coen can keep working on that, and next time I see Jason, I might have him tell him the story, because Jason went from, you saw him in high school, not a very good shooter, to, I think he led the league a couple of years in three-point field goal percentage. Think how much work that takes. So Cohen's not there yet, but he is a more powerful because he's probably 30 pounds heavier, maybe more.
John, again today, nobody plays 25 minutes. When you have guys like Jace and Coen you can bring off the bench and change a game, does it remind you a little bit about Mo Pete when he used to come off the bench for you your first Final Four year?
Yeah. Mo Pete came off the bench for a long time, and it does remind me of that. You need good players coming off. You need somebody to bring something to the game. But, I don't know where that's going to go either. Like I told my guys, now there were a couple guys I was disappointed in didn't play as well, and everybody says, well, give me another chance. Well, last year I gave guys another chance, and we lost 5 games down the stretch. How about give me a chance to keep you in the game? Give me a chance, if it's effort related, no, there's no excuse. Saudi said it at halftime. A couple guys took some tough shots. He said, this is an unbelievable place. He hasn't taken one guy out because of their shooting. Why are you going to take them out? Because of their effort. And so, are the minutes going to change a little? I could see some going up, some going a little down. But we need a couple guys to play better. Listen, we need Coop. You know, the first time he had his mask off. And we talked about it, and was struggling a little bit. And we need him to get back to, he can guard a lot of different people. We need Coop. He's one of the better leaders on my team. We need him. And Jax, I mean, that was the first game where he just couldn't. I mean, his classic jump hook he even missed today. But yet, 12 rebounds, you know, he was a man-child in there. And we need Book, you know, and then those guards, you know, we need, I mean, today, you know, Jeremy was good, and Jace was good, and Jaden came on. We need Jaden to be more consistent. He's not running like he needs to run, and we're going to really work on that because we need him. If we got him and the other guys on the other wing, we could be a lot better.
Coach, you're right. You've been talking all year about guards helping out with rebounding and being more aggressive on the glass. Specifically, Jace today, 6 boards. Jaden, 5 boards as well. What did you see from them, from the aggressiveness? You want to see them more aggressive, or what did you think of their performance on the glass today?
I think Jace is just getting better every day. I mean, you know, like you say, 6 rebounds for him. He's not the most physical guy yet. He's getting there. But he has such a feel for things. And, boy, it was too bad he didn't complete that lob to Coen, because that was a great play by him. He just threw it a hair too high. And I don't know how in the hell you throw it too high to Coen, but I think he did. But, yeah, I've been pleased with that. I think right now I need Trey to, you know, I mean, everybody thinks that, well, you're coming out, you're going in. Let me tell you something. There were guys tired today. We lost some things today because guys were tired. So guys got to get better shape. And it was a weird thing with finals and all the things we went through. This will be a good break for him. Come back day after Christmas, and we got to grind it then for a few days, 2 days, and get going and get ready for the, unfortunately, the real season.
Coach, you mentioned before the season started how your non-conference might not be the star-studded that it is usually, but you've scheduled a lot of tough mid-major opponents. I want to know your thoughts on your team and even your staff's ability to kind of prepare. Obviously, the difference from Oakland to FAU in style of play, and just how you've dealt with that and managed that throughout non-conference play.
I said my staff has done an incredible job, I think, because we had those quick turnarounds, different kinds of teams over in Maui. I mean, preparing for Sanford was a lot. And that's what I was maddest at my team for today? Because we have a scout team right now. You know, the 2 twins from Oakland. Jesse, who's been unbelievable. And we put Kerr and Gehrig and, of course, Nick. And Nick, Gehrig, and Kerr deserve to play more. And I was mad at my team for that because they know how much those guys helped them. And the only thing they get is some crumbs. And they deserve to get maybe a half a meal tonight instead of some crumbs. And I think my team agreed. And so, you know, I can't remember what was the rest of the question.
Just kind of about just your ability to jump from one game to another.
Yeah. I think that's why I brought them up, because it takes the assistant coach that is running that, the video guys that are doing it, and you know, Colin did a great job. This was Saudi's scout, but then the scout team. I mean, they got to do a lot. The GA's got to do a lot, breaking down film and that. So it's an effort by everybody, but the end of the day, getting a good scout team has really been important, and we haven't had that. And right now we've got a really good scout team that's getting better themselves. It's really helped Kurtang. He needs, deserves, and should get more minutes, and will, because somebody that's playing well and maybe not shooting as well, sooner or later, you know, it's gonna change a little. It just is. Hey, you guys all, ladies, have a good Christmas. Happy holiday to all of you, and enjoy 6340 Pine Hollow.